All right.
Wait,
Status quo at the moment. Just trying.
wait, we got to start with the intro. I didn't go live. Oops, everybody.
Let's go.
That's my
Let's go.
bad. Let's see if it. Why is it not going live? Am I live? Am I live now? Let's check. Go live. Okay, I'm live now. Am I live now? No?
There we go.
Am I live now?
It's coming up.
Okay, now I'm live. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, everybody. I don't know what happened with YouTube right now, but now we're live. It's me, Ray Mir. I'm back. April 9th, I believe it is, Thursday, 2020. I got my blazer on. We got Guru over here. We got Tito in the building. Say what's up, you guys.
What up? What up?
What's going on?
Hey, hey. So yeah, how's everybody doing? How's just overall update with myself? Been in the house quarantining with the family, just chilling, just trying to keep myself busy. Been editing a few projects for a few people, and just overall getting my in home in shape on like everybody else. What about you, Guru?
Yeah, same here. Just kind of, you know, have some normalcy going on around here. A little bit of exercise, a lot of eating, a lot of baking, but I'm making best use of my time.
What about you, Juan? Last but not least.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, just trying to find some normalcy, but at the same time, I mean, I think trying to perfect the taco curl, you know, stuffing our face, but yeah, doing all right,
Yeah,
man.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Today we have a few things we want to talk about. We're going to start off with some news, then we're going to hand it over to our main conversation, which is NFL All Decades Team. It was released on Sunday night, I believe, and it has some few picks on there. Has some for sure picks. Has some controversial picks, if you ask me. Some guys I think got snubbed. That's going to be our main meat of the whole episode today. So just I guess we should start it off with some news. I guess we can start it off with go ahead, Juan, with some UFC news.
So UFC 249 that was scheduled to go on. Dana White trying to buy Private Island and you know do his thing. Just got postponed. I know that they initially said canceled, but I think they still want to keep most of these fighters active whenever they can. So just postponed. Dana White came out and said that it was Disney and ESPN, kind of like the top dog, saying, "Hey, cut it out." Rightfully so, I think. I think we saw a fighter drop out because of COVID. With just the impact that she was getting and whatnot with Rose. But yeah, I mean, a little bummed out as a sports fan. I thought we were going to get some gladiator type stuff happening within a week or so. But yeah, man, just 249, no go.
What? It's an echo? There's an echo? Oh, the echo is back. Uh-oh. Let's fix the echo right now. Is it a pretty bad echo? Um, Sorry about that, everyone. Let's fix this echo and try to get this going. Let's switch back to me. Boom. Echo, echo. Sorry about that. But yeah, Juan was talking about UFC. April 18th is the date it was supposed to go on, but it was canceled. And like he said, he was saying that Dana White was told by the heads of Disney and ESPN. Only Juan? Okay. Okay. We'll fix it. We'll fix the echo, everyone. I got my team back here to cancel it. Rightfully so, I guess. A lot of things are going on, and it can be postponed and put back on in a later date. So let me get these. Let me run to commercial real fast. Stick with us, and then we'll get those guys back in.
Hey, what's up? This is Mark Cheatham, personal trainer out here in Oakland,
Oh,
California. I've been a
echo.
personal trainer for about 9 years now,
What went
working
on?
with everyone from high elite level athletes to your everyday
It's
person
clear.
that's
It's
trying
clear.
to get
It's
a
clear
better,
for you
healthier
too.
lifestyle going. The reason why I
So
became a trainer because
it's
I was
fine.
once that
We'll work
person
it out.
struggling, trying to figure it out for myself and not being confident about the person
Okay.
that I was. I became a trainer because I want to help other people feel confident about themselves to take their bodies to the next level. Not only just physically, mentally, and teaching that fitness is a part of your life. It should be a part of your everyday lifestyle. Like how you get up and take a shower and do your hair, you should be training your body as well and your mind. When your body is in shape, you take care of your body, your mental's in shape. It makes you feel more confident, you have more clarity throughout your day. So if you're looking to transform your body, live a healthier lifestyle, make fitness a part of your everyday life, then go ahead and contact me. I'll be more than happy to work with you and help you take your body to the next level. Let's get this work, baby.
Okay. We're back. We are back. Yeah. All NFL All Decades was released Sunday, and we're here talking about that. It was some snubs. It was some regular people who you expect to be on there. And I'm gonna bring in the panel back in right now. If you guys can bear with me 1 second. We're live, so a lot of things happen when you go live. So this is just part of the things that happen. But it's okay because we're just some guys talking. So that's also the joy about it. Like we're just guys chilling talking. And let's see. Let's try to bring it back and see if we got the echo. Okay, my guys are back in. Can you guys hear them?
What up? What up?
What's up?
Yeah, we're gonna just keep rocking. My bad, my phone died. I'm back. Usman Daily in real life. Yeah, we have a few people on there. Hey, everybody that's on here, can y'all do me a favor and hit that smash that like button real fast for your boy? That's always good with YouTube. How's that sounding, Shirley? Okay, we're good. We're good to go. NFL. Let's get to NFL news first. Bill O'Brien. He um he made a move this week. He made a move. He made a move. I don't know if it was for the better or for the worse, but he made a move. He got what's his name? Cooks.
Cooks.
Yeah, he got Cooks from LA for a second rounder. How do you guys feel about that? Juan, go ahead.
Definitely, man.
Definitely, man.
Bill O'Brien,
Bill
man.
O'Brien,
I
man.
mean, I think he's
I think
just
he's just
trolling everybody
trolling
at this
everybody at
point.
this point.
Can't stay out
Can't
of the
stay out
news.
of
I
the
think every
news. I
single
think every
week,
single week,
something's coming
something's
up.
coming up.
There was a little bit of a backlash with that D Hop, and he's trying to replace him somehow. Getting
Getting
a
a
speedster like
speedster like
Cooks.
Cooks.
Maybe it plays a
Maybe it
little bit
plays a little
different.
bit different.
Plays a little bit
Plays a
better
little
with
bit better with
Deshaun.
Deshaun.
His
His
game.
game.
But yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, I
I
mean,
I still don't know. I mean, Cooks wasn't 100% healthy with the Rams.
mhm.
The Rams were loaded with receivers, so I think they definitely could afford to lose him. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was just a weird altogether.
um, yeah. How you feel about that trade, Guru?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're getting a Brandon Cooks. I mean, what's this, his fourth team that he's been on? I mean, he has a 5-year, $85 million contract. I just don't. If I'm a Houston Texans fan, I'm not doing backflips over this move. This is a guy who, although he has speed and can get downfield, he seems to be nicked up all the time and really never seemed to be worth the money that he's been paid. And him being traded so many times, I guess, kind of speaks
Yeah.
to that. You know, Bill O'Brien is trying to say he's trying to save face not only with his team but with the fan base, and hopefully for him it works out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's done so. I don't know. I think he's a madman who has too much power. We didn't know how to use it based on the relationship with him and the players. Sometimes the real GM will step in like, "Hey, no, we need this guy on our team. Let's just stick it out." But with Bill Ob, I feel like he's just doing whatever he wants to do, and I don't necessarily agree with what he wants to do. To me, he's wilding. I don't like it. I don't understand. Yeah, he's pretty
Wild Bill.
wild. I don't understand why he's like he has a good team. They were just one game away from really the AFC Championship, and they lost to the best team in the NFL. And it's like you blow that team up. And if it was me, if I was a coach, if I was keep D Hop and trying to like smooth him for like 1 year, let him see the bigger goal. Maybe we restructure his contract and give him some money up front right now. But I don't think you do the moves he's making. They're not good moves. They're not smart. I don't understand what he's doing. And it is what it is. But for what? That's what I'm saying. Any last words on Bill OB before we hop into our meat and potatoes of this show, which is the All Decade Team, NFL All Decade Team, who I think go ahead. Any last words?
Yeah, with Bill O'Brien, man, I would definitely say that maybe he's trying to dip into the New England Patriots like mold way too often. Cooks was with New England. Josh McDaniels, that connection, speedster type. I mean, like Guru said, he probably is trying to save face, but I think he's just trying to dip into that New England well way too often, man. But like you said,
he's wilding. I don't know. Go ahead, Guru.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to say about camaraderie and cohesion on a team. And I think when you have a coach that's over here and he's like laying these ground rules, and you have guys that a lot of them are from maybe, you have all players from different backgrounds. I just think there's a better way for him to try to communicate with these players. I mean, you're getting rid of a player who you traded away a player who was a top three receiver. And again, this move we'll see what it does, but I don't expect much from it.
He's done. If I was an NFL owner, I will fire him. Well, we'll see how the season goes, but I wouldn't agree with it. Sometimes the fans, and sometimes you have transcendent players, and you just don't trade them. You have to keep those guys no matter what, because you don't get receivers. Because we all know receivers. They say it's a draft heavy with receivers, but receivers never pan out. Not say never pan out, but it's hard to hit on a receiver, especially within the draft, because they say that's one of the hardest positions to adapt to when coming to the NFL. And once you have those good receivers, those guys who can really get you those yards, those touchdowns, and really show character within the team, you hold on to them. Because a lot of these receivers are divas. They kind of, like, even if he has some gripes with his contract, we never knew about this as a public. We never knew that D Hop wasn't happy or, what was going on. You never knew that because he was that type of stand-up guy. Like, you see the ESPN specials with him and his mother and the fans of Houston. And it's like he just tore all that away for, because he wanted more money. And those are the type of guys you want to give money to. Like, you don't give money to Jadeveon Clowney, he leaves. J.J. Watt, 3-time defensive MVP, you gave him his money. And it's like, can we just, pay the players that you're supposed to? And maybe that might have scared him off a little bit, knowing that they paid JJ and he's like hurt. Yeah, he's done. He's basically done. His career might be over. His brothers are a better fit in the NFL right now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And just to piggyback real quick off what you're saying, like a lot of people say, well, the draft is full of these big time receivers. Well, there's a big difference between being a top receiver in college and a top receiver in NFL. When you have someone across from you that's making $12 million a year, ready to shut your butt down. Guys like Jerry Jeudy and them, we'll see if they find their way. But I wouldn't feel like, when you're shuffling all these receivers around, like you only get like maybe 2-3 good receivers out of each bunch in each draft. So, they need to be careful. All right.
Yeah, they need to be real careful. But we'll see. They got Cooks. He's a journeyman at this point, and you traded him for the second. But let's get into why we're here, and that's NFL All Decades. We're going to start with the offensive right now. And if you guys don't have a list, I can just read off of it right now, and I can show everybody. All right. So quarterbacks, they have Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. For wide receivers, Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones. Tight ends, Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce. Tackles, Jason Peters, Tyron Smith, Joe Staley, Joe Thomas. Guards, Jahari Evans, Logan Mankins, Zach Martin, Marshall Yonda. Centers, Alex Mack, Marquise Pouncey. Running backs, Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, Adrian Peterson. Flex, they got, on the flex position, they got Darren Sproles. And all these guys were voted unanimous, I believe. I believe they were unanimous in this polling. So that's why they made this list. So, yeah, let's start it off right now. How do you guys feel about it? Yeah, let me just get your Your initial opinions. Go ahead, Guru.
Well, the list, I really don't have a lot of argument with it. I mean, I went over the numbers, earlier today, as far as the players, and I looked at this two ways. I looked at statistics, and then I looked at impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because impact can sometimes outweigh statistics. And the only problem that I had a problem with on this list was the quarterback position. Tom Brady is a no-brainer. I had a little issue with Aaron Rodgers. I think that Russell Wilson is the other quarterback. And the reason I'll state that, okay, because over the last 8 years, okay, he's thrown for 29,734 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He has 227 touchdowns, only 68 interceptions. He has a 101 QBR, which is really excellent. Also, he has an 86-41-1 record over that time, 64% completion rate, 9 playoff wins during that time, which is astounding. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 victory. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of bumped Aaron Rodgers down because he was well, he hasn't been to a Super Bowl since 2008. All right, number
Right.
one. He's supposed to be the greatest, and over that time, also,
Nope.
I like to say the most importantly is Russell Wilson. Out of 128 games, he's played 128 games. So the best is availability, and that's why I put him there. Now, if you put Aaron Rodgers on
I'm
this
glad you
list,
said that.
29,000 yards for Aaron Rodgers, 580. You can do the numbers. He has 232 touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
46 interceptions. Less, the QBR and their completion percentage is about the same. But again, I go back to those Super Bowl appearances and what I've seen up to this date, and that's once Russell Wilson lost the pieces, the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
We saw last year and the year before that he was truly a franchise quarterback. He is super elite, and he's in it every year, no matter what. But other than that, I had no problem with the list. I put Russell Wilson in place of Aaron Rodgers.
Juan, how do you feel about that, Juan?
All right. I won't go into Aaron Rodgers just yet.
Okay.
As for the list, I think no complaints whatsoever. Numbers wise, I think everybody there deserved to be there, rightfully
Mm-hmm.
so. What made them pick only 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, like whatever that makeup is, I'd love to know why only. To me, I think there should be more people that should be on this list as well. I don't know who I would take out. I do know that there's people out there in consideration. The topic here is definitely quarterbacks. I think everybody, I've seen it online, I think everybody has an issue with Aaron Rodgers. And to first, I'll be honest, I had an issue with Aaron Rodgers there at first.
Mm-hmm.
Looking into it, everybody was saying Drew Brees. That rang a bell when I started really looking into this and dissecting. Dan Marino.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Marino, phenomenal, but didn't win anything, right? And I mean, that's always been the knock on the guy because he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Brees does it as a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, it was in 2009. It was not in this decade. Rodgers, I will mind you, does have one in the decade. They won in 2010. Mind you, Rodgers had 2 MVPs in the decade as well. NFL MVPs, not offensive player, not best quarterback, NFL MVP.
Yeah.
So that's one of those where I was just like, okay, Rodgers, I think definitely for me beats the Drew Brees category head to head. The one name that did stick out to me and said, all right, he's going to give Rodgers a run for his money is what Guru said. Russell. I think Russell is definitely somebody that can give him a run for its money.
Yeah.
But for me, there's one thing that separated Rodgers in the last decade. I'm not saying now. I think Russell is actually moving towards that. But what I think separated Rodgers for me is the clutch factor. I would say, Kobe, ice in your veins. If I really had a last minute drive final minute. I wouldn't even say final 2 minutes. There's only 2 quarterbacks that I would want to lead my drive in this league at this very moment, till this day, yet alone in the decade.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks that have shown that they will take, all they need is seconds to get their team in a position to try and win that game. And to me, that was clutch. The other thing is, okay, we have accolades, but the playoff factor, playoffs. In the last decade, the Packers only missed 2 years of the playoffs. That was 2017 and 2018. One of those years, Rodgers only played seven games.
Mm-hmm.
So really what it comes down to is, all right, only 2, so 8, all right, we got it. His record in the playoffs, mind you, he only has one bowl, but his record in the playoffs is 10-7. That's great, like clutch, like definitely out there that's running. The other thing that separated for me, and I mean, Russell gives him a run for his money in this, Rodgers' playmaking ability on the move, on the run. In a last decade span, I won't go too much into numbers, but he had 2,500 yards rushing as a quarterback who's not really labeled the typical mobile quarterback in the last 10 years. So to me, I think he rightfully so deserved it. Are there other names that are in consideration? For sure. I think in every one of these categories, we can pinpoint an individual that deserved to actually be there. But I think for me, I actually talked myself into being like, holy crap, Rodgers definitely deserved to be there.
Yeah, here we have it on the screen again. Tom Brady and Rodgers are the quarterbacks. Me personally, I would not put Aaron Rodgers on this list. Aaron Rodgers will not be on this list if it was up to me. Now, I do understand you had a compelling argument that he had 2 MVPs, and I forgot about that. And I might have overlooked that, but I don't know, man. I think some point we have to recognize Drew Brees for what Drew Brees being Drew Brees. He played with Brandon Cooks, made him All-Star, slow Marquise Colston, and he still gets it done. Like if it wasn't for referees, how many rings will Drew Brees have, or how many Super Bowl appearances will he have? And Aaron Rodgers is cool. He's cool, and he does some things, but he doesn't have more playmaking ability than Russell Wilson. I rather pick Russell Wilson. Yep. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. If it wasn't for a bonehead call, we'll be talking about Russell Wilson with 2 Super Bowls right now. And the second one, he flat out won. And it's just I think the NFL and just everybody has this mistake about Aaron Rodgers playing for the Packers that, oh, he's all this. He does last minute Hail Mary bombs. Like I understand he has 5 to 6 last minute plays, but that's exactly what they are, last minute plays, because he couldn't keep his team in for the whole game. And it's like, it's not about him just being I don't know. He's not the best leader. I'm going to give him some personal points for not talking to his family, but that's just me. But yeah, I don't know.
No, there you go. I definitely said it. I'm glad you mentioned something in that. You said, if it wasn't for refs. Mind you, the game still went into overtime. Mind you, they still had the ball first in overtime. Brees, if he had the clutch factor, if he had the Russell Wilson, they would have won that game regardless of the matter. Like, he was imposing his will there. So it's like the opportunity presented itself. Did he take it? No, he didn't. To me, though, yes. Brees, he has the numbers. He has the accolades. He makes everybody better. But at the same time, I mean, he's had the pieces, right? Like, he's definitely gone through, the defense, everything like that. Like, I feel like Rodgers has actually done more with less. I mean, he's had some studs, don't get me wrong, but no real running game. Like it definitely just started to develop closer towards the end.
I'll give you that.
So it definitely is one of those where, we're talking about a decade here, like we haven't got into special teams, but it's like, to me, something that solidified me and just being like, okay, there's a body of work here. It's like Devin Hester. Like everybody will say Devin Hester is a great pumper, great kickoff returner, did what he did in the Super Bowl with the Bears, right? Like definitely has that. But then again, he only played 6 years in the decade.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, it's more than half. And yes, everybody knows him as a
yeah.
returner, but it's like you only had 6 years. Like, does that value somebody that's
If
done
he,
10
I
or
don't know, but
whatnot? Like, it
if
goes
he's
on.
like
I
producing
don't
for,
know if his
if
numbers
his
are
numbers are
blown
there for
away.
6 years,
Oh
more
no,
than
no,
half, I can
yeah,
see.
I won't swap him out. I won't
But
swap him out. But
let's move on to some other offensive
yeah,
people on this list. I have another person I had a gripe with, and that's Travis Kelce. Like I feel like we're living in the now right now, and we're giving Travis Kelce all these rings. I mean accolades where he's been the top tight end for the last 2-3 years. How do you guys feel about my outlier Travis Kelce?
I mean, I would say you're right. I think the last half of the decade, it's we're kind of buying into the hype.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the reason though is he has been the number one like go to for Kansas City, the most Mr. Reliable, I would say, for Kansas City, and
Yeah,
not just the past 2 seasons. I mean, with
four.
Alex Smith,
Yeah,
with Mahomes, like people forget that before Mahomes, actually, pretty darn good with Alex Smith, and for a good while too. A couple years here and there, they had 10+ win seasons. So he's okay. He's serviceable. He was the number one option in that. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I
take him
have
out. I got Jason Witten.
other people
I
there.
got Dallas Cowboy,
Yep.
Oakland Raider right now. Jason Witten was the
I'd give it
number
a Witten.
one tight end forever. Forever. I
Yep.
know he doesn't have a ring, but he's one person who was fundamentally sound and he played the game pretty good. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and he was that one person. When they changed the reins to Dak Prescott, he was still there, and it's like all those pieces, all those Tony Romo great years,
Yep.
those were great years for Jason Witten, and it's more than 5+ years that he had. And then he had a few good years on the back end with Dak Prescott. Sure, he retired prematurely, whatever. But at the same time, Travis Kelce, he's great, and he is a fantastic tight end. And I hate him that he's in our division. Like I hate he's in the AFC West, so he's going to give us headaches for years. But these are recent headaches. Like the NFC East. You're a Washington fan. You're a Redskins fan. You know how Witten Terry I love,
Oh
and he
yeah.
catch
No,
touchdowns. And
definitely.
I'm like, I think the internet. I think the NFL is somewhat abiding to the internet craze. Like they're into the social media. They're all kind of bored. And Travis Kelce is a social media darling. Like he's one person you can put and like, oh, okay, yeah, that's my man, that's my guy. And I feel like the NFL somewhat did this with this voting. Like Travis
Yeah.
Kelce, great, but let's not forget the first half of the year. Like it's the same thing with Devin Hester. Like he had a few. No, this ain't not. Doesn't compare to Devin Hester, but the first half of the decade,
Few
this
years. Yeah.
guy he ran tight ends. Like he ran tight ends,
Yep.
and then Gronk was the AFC tight end, and so it just went Gronk. Witten, and it was like, why is Witten even up here? He doesn't have the physical skills like the rest of the tight ends, but he just get the job done. Like it was people saying that T.O. Saying that Tony Romo's best buddy was Jason Witten because he's getting all the catches, and it's like, yeah, he was doing something right to get those catches. Guru,
Yep.
I'm gonna bring you in on this. What do you feel about my outlier, Travis Kelce?
I could be a little biased towards this because me and Jason Witten like this. We're right here. But ever since I've seen Travis Kelce come in the league, he's always been good. Like I don't ever remember a time where he was just getting used to the game. He seems to always get open, run his routes. I noticed like about 5 years ago he had a little flair to him, and now that he has a very elite quarterback, we're really starting to see how good he is, even at 30 years old. As much as I like Jason Witten, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to side with Kelce. I'll take Jason Witten the first
Conspiracy!
10
You guys
years.
come on this show just to gang up on me every week. Nah, go ahead, Guru.
No, I have to say, Travis Kelce. Definitely, I'll have to give him the nod. Maybe because it's the latter decade for Witten, but Travis Kelce is with this quarterback they have, I think he has about a good 3 elite years left, which is scary for linebackers.
Yeah, yeah. Any list, any any group that you just 100% agree on. I can go after one of you guys, but it's one group that I thought they nailed it. And well, there's one guy on there, but you have to give it to him. I think for what he's done. But
I
anybody
mean,
else on this list?
I think the running back they nailed.
The running backs, yes, the running backs are Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, Adrian Peterson. And I will have to finally agree with you. I think they hit it right on the dot. I like all those running
Yeah,
back choices. I really
Yeah.
can't go nowhere
yeah.
else. When I was thinking
I
about my
mean,
four running backs, those are the guys that
Nope,
pop in my head.
yeah. I mean, I
nope.
know I speak for myself. I don't pay attention. I don't, not that I don't pay attention, but I don't give as much love as I actually should for the offensive linemen. But I
Hmm.
mean, every single person on here actually deserved it.
Yeah.
There's actually one name. There's actually one name that I think rings a bell that I think is missing from this list, but I don't know who to replace, and that's Whitmore.
Oh yeah.
He,
Yeah.
with the Bengals,
Yeah.
all of those years. I mean, those stout running backs with the Bengals, and then
Yeah.
most recently with the Rams.
Yeah.
So just a workhorse in the trenches,
Dang, that's a
definitely
good
went
one.
there.
I
So I know
yeah.
I know Whitmore is definitely missing from this list. But to be
Yeah,
honest, I don't know who to replace. Like they
Take
they
off Joe
definitely
Thomas.
nailed it.
no,
But
no.
Now go ahead, Guru.
but yeah,
I know you had some. You wanted to say something about the running backs. Guru, did you have something to say, Guru?
Oh no, no. As far as the running backs, I mean, they nailed it. I mean, um, that's it. The Mount Rushmore for the last decade for those running backs right there.
Okay, cool,
No,
cool. Yeah, I'm personally glad to see that they went with the choice, and even with Frank Gore, me not even being a Niners fan, I shouldn't even say that. Watching football, you can respect his game, how long he's been in the league, and just what he's done. Like he's performed at every single level, from Niners to Bills to who else he played for. Who else?
uh,
The Dolphins for a couple years. Yep.
Dolphins, Bills, Colts,
Colts.
Yep. So he's done his thing. So I like this.
and this is a guy who, yeah,
Who else? Everybody has a ring. No, not everyone, but Shady McCoy and Marshawn Lynch are the only two people on this list who has a ring right now. I believe so. Frank Gore has been to the Super Bowl twice. Oh, once or twice. Once.
Yeah.
once.
One.
Peterson, you can't knock Peterson. I mean, he was just
Uh,
a
I don't
beast.
know. Peterson was a beast when he first came in, but I don't know. Yeah, Peterson was a beast. I'm not gonna just.
that fumble in the playoffs when Teddy Bridgewater was at quarterback. I think it was 2014. That's all I could just remember. The game was sealed against Seattle. Seattle wouldn't have
Yeah.
went to the Super Bowl that year. It was sealed. Oh my God, he's gonna miss it. They always miss important field goals, and he missed it.
Yep.
So yeah,
We have a comment, and they're saying
Frank Gore.
LaShawn McCoy is trash. I don't know.
LaShawn McCoy is a top running back. He's been good for a long time. His days might be over, but you can't argue with his numbers or his productivity.
Yep. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know that his nickname's Shady, but I know that they, in the last decade, they referenced him to the real McCoy.
Yeah.
That guy was definitely a runner.
Beat you up too. Nah, that's not dope. I'm not gonna.
Born
doing
to
that on
run.
the show. Let's hop over to defense right now. Defensive end. We got Calais Campbell, Cameron Jordan, Julius Peppers, J.J. Watt. Defensive tackles: Geno Atkins, Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald, and Dominican Sue. Inside linebackers: Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Willis. Outside linebackers: Chandler Jones, Khalil Mack, Von Miller. Cornerbacks: Patrick Peterson, Darrell Reeves, Richard Sherman. Safeties: Eric Berry, Earl Thomas, and Eric Weddle.
Your boy.
My boy, Eric Weddle. I don't know. Go ahead, Juan. You can start it off.
Definitely, man. So it was funny, man. I know that we kind of talked about this a little bit. And when you said Eric Weddle, I was kind of in agreement to start. Once again, looking at the numbers and dissecting, I stand true to say every single one of these individuals here deserves to be there. I mean, they all have a fairly decent resume to say, okay, you're in the argument at least. You're in the conversation. You're definitely somebody that I'm going to think about and going to get my vote. But when I was looking at numbers of Eric Weddle, I completely forgot that this guy, the last decade, averaged 100 tackles. Talking about combined, but averaged 100 tackles. Like had his face, his hands, his feet, his helmet, his big boom hitting in consistently. Like for a safety, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's linebacker number. So when I saw that average, I was like, holy crap, this guy definitely deserves to be there. The one that actually stood out, I was thinking, all right, well, who would I replace him with? Who? Legion of Boom, Cam Chancellor.
Boom.
All right. He definitely comes out to, hey, what can I do, But I was looking at the numbers, and the one person on this list that dubbed Cam Chancellor at DB is, I look at the DB one, Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu.
Take him off.
I get him. He should be out. I would actually substitute with Cam Chancellor. I think he's actually more of an impact DB. But yeah, that's the only thing on here that I think Weddle deserves to be there. Mathieu is the one that I would actually kick out of here. I mean, not to take anything away, he's a good returner. He does a lot of things. He's in the right place at the right time, but I don't think he's been doing it as long as some of these other guys that actually deserve to be there.
Go ahead, Guru.
No, I kind of agree with his list. Like with Eric Weddle, I know he's a tackling machine. Doesn't have a lot of interceptions, but always had his nose near the ball. As far as man, I really don't have an argument with the DBs. Seems to be the right picks.
I don't know. I'm taking off Honey Badger. I'll take off Eric Weddle, replacing Cam Chancellor. But with those stats and really, what you brought to the table, those are some tangible stats. And I think the Legion of Boom was one of the best defensive backs of all time. And one of the ringleaders was Cam Chancellor. I'm thinking the NFL penalized him because he got a lot of penalties and a lot of fines. Maybe that has something to do with it. But this guy played linebacker, came out and switched to safety, and he played to third DB. You have to put him on this list. And I think he does the same thing that Tyrann Mathieu does, but we're just living in a moment to where we kind of want to, we're gonna like put Tyrann there, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of the Travis Kelce thing. Like we're living in the now right now. Like I know those guys won the Super Bowl, but to me, if you bounce from, well, I don't want to say bounce from team to team, but this was a few years where Honey Badger went in Arizona unnoticed. Like him and Patrick Peterson should have did more together, and they didn't. And I think, I don't know, he's not that much. He's a big factor, trust me, but he gets a lot of balls caught on him. A lot of deep balls get caught on him. So I think if it was one person to really take off this DB list, it would be him. And as far as who else would I add? I don't know. I'm kind of solid. One thing about it, the outside linebacker position, I don't know. Have that hybrid position, I'm kind of iffy on that one. Like, I think they might need to think of something else because those guys are outside linebackers, but really they're D ends, really, because they're always pass rushing. And it's like we're playing in this 3-4, and you're giving these guys this outside linebacker praise. But to me, Thomas Davis is a real outside linebacker that needs to be on this list. That he missed the spot.
Kuechly, they gave Kuechly love, and he's
inside
general,
though.
but
so
but it definitely he did more damage in coverage, right? Like he definitely, the run stopper, obviously, has a knack for the ball, so he's definitely around there, but he did a lot of damage in spying the quarterback. So they did justice there. I mean, Bobby Wagner is very similar, right? Where it's like, definitely not an edge one, but I think you're absolutely right. I think they gave too much love to the edge. I mean, I wouldn't take anyone here. But I mean, I'm going to give some edge. I'll ask you a question. I know I threw this name out a while ago, but Clay Matthews, do you think he deserves to be on this list? I mean, I think he does, but I know that the last years have been kind of a fall off here. But even last year, I was looking at the Rams. He had his hand in almost 100 tackles. I was like, what was that? I mean, I know the Rams didn't have the season that they were going to have, but it definitely is one of those where defensive player of the year two times, multiple Pro Bowls, had that one Super Bowl, an impact player throughout those playoffs. So I would see like adding him, but I don't know who to take off. Like all of these guys are studs, every single one of them. Like let's add a couple here and there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Clay Matthews does deserve to be on there, and it's the same thing. We're kind of living in the now a little bit, and he does fall under that hybrid type of player, but he plays more outside linebacker than the rest of these guys. Like if you look at the outside linebackers list, let me read it off too. It's all pass rushers: Chandler Jones, Khalil Mack, Von Miller. These guys are not traditional outside linebackers, and I think they're glorified DNs. And we need to stick them in that DN position and just call a spade a spade. Like these guys don't drop back in coverage, and it just I don't know. Clay Matthews, he kind of fall under that boat, but him to be a 2-time defensive player MVP, I think he needs to be in there. The same reason why people put Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. We can't forget about Clay Matthews, but the last 3 years he's kind of felt since he left Packers, he kind of fell off the map a little bit, but he's still being consistent, putting up numbers, and he's just not an NFL darling right now like how he once was. And I feel like that's what's penalizing these guys. A lot of I don't know. Looking at this list, a lot of it is in the now type of voting. Like you said, Whitworth should have been on there. He should have been on there for sure. I'm kind of thinking maybe we throw AJ Green on there for receiver, but we'll talk about that later. But who else? And Honey Badger. Yeah, I don't. Chris Harris, maybe we take him off, but he kind of locks people down. And I'm trying to think. I can't think off the top. Who would I replace him with? I just don't like the team he plays for. But as far as DB, I really would take off Honey Badger. I can't think but a handful of plays of where he's really impacted the game, and he hasn't really.
Who would you replace him for, though? I mean, you said you'd replace Weddle with Chancellor.
No, I would keep Weddle. I would take off Matthew and replace him with Chancellor.
That's what I would do.
Because I think
that's what I would do.
Yeah, because when Eric Weddle, he was. I don't know if anybody can see this, but all the AFC West guys, I'm taking them off the list secretly. But don't. Let's not even. That's another conversation. But when he went to Baltimore and he really improved it, and he went on that team and really kept his same play and really brought them up to the same defense that Baltimore is known for, I became a believer. So I don't think any defense besides. Yeah, I can't think of no defense where Honey Badger been on that was like really number one ranked up their defense. And it's just maybe to Houston that one time, but he was getting a lot of deep balls thrown on him that year. That's why he was expendable. And it's good that the Chiefs picked him up, but has he really made any impact plays with the Chiefs that you guys can think of?
He made a few in the playoffs.
We'll see.
Enough to make a difference.
All decade enough?
Yeah, no, I don't believe all decade. I don't believe that. No, if he plays like that for a couple more years, or one more year, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. If he can keep up the same amount of play, then maybe. But right now, I don't know. Let's let me go into these comments and see if people are saying anything about these players. Somebody calls me a hater. Chancellor was nice. Some guy named Alvin. He seems pretty smart. Someone put, what do you think about Yankee with no brim? I'm guessing they talking about a hat because you have on a Dodgers hat, Juan. I'm assuming. But yeah, Romo. But yeah, I guess the last category is special teams. And let me get to special teams up real fast if you guys bear with me so we can get this on the screen. So all decade special teams, they got punters. Johnny Hecker, Shane Lechler. Boom. We got 2, baby. Raiders got 2. Stephen Gostkowski, a New England kicker. Justin Tucker, Baltimore Raven. Yeah. Tyreek Hill, Darren Sproles, Devin Hester, and Cordell Patterson. How do you guys feel about this special team list? Go ahead, Guru. Let me start off with Guru. No complaints? No complaints.
Can you hear me all right? Because I took my headphones off.
We can hear you. It sounds different, but let us know if you guys hear echo. But I don't think they should hear echo. But do you have any gripes with the special team, Guru?
I really don't. I really don't. I mean,
Go ahead, Juan.
Yeah, I mean, no complaints here, man. Like, no, I wouldn't take anything away from anyone here. The punters, dead solid. I mean, kickers, Justin Tucker. That's who I want my son to strive for. Highest paid kicker in NFL history. And then, punt returners are fine. I mean, kick returners. I mean, like I said earlier, I have no complaints whatsoever on this list. Devin Hester was a beast. I mean, I think he was more of a beast beginning of the 2000s. Mm-hmm. With just everything that he was doing, that Super Bowl run. I think that speaks a little bit more. So it's like, I think there was some nostalgia there. Only reason is because he only had 6 seasons in the 2010s. So it's like, I get it. I get where he's at and I do it, but I also don't know who to replace him with. So I won't complain about this list.
Yeah. It's overall a solid list. It's not too much that I disagree with this NFL. I kind of feel like for the most part they got it right. But one thing I do want to bring up, and it kind of piggybacks to our last episode that we had. We were talking about the top receivers right now. So this decade list did just drop. And I'm trying to see if any of these guys are worthy and being in the top 5 receivers of all time. I think one guy, maybe 2, maybe might edge out there. So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna go read the names of the 4 decade receivers on here, and who do you guys think could be in the all-time top 5? So we have Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Julio Jones. So once again, Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones. Do you think any of these guys are top 5 all time? Go, Guru, you're first. Put you on the spot. Guru, you are first.
Yes, I do.
Who?
I think Calvin Johnson at 6'5", 4.340. You could have played in any era. Antonio Brown. He could have played in any era. He could have played in the 80s. So could Julio Jones.
So who are any of these guys top 5 of all time? Up there with the Rices, with the T.O.s, with the Randy Moss. Are you putting anybody in the top 5 that's on this decade list?
Okay. I would say if I could choose one of those guys, I would choose AB. I really I just think that he's as polished I've seen.
Wait, stop, Guru. There's something going on right now. Let us collect this real fast. You said Antonio Brown, Mr. Big Chest himself, Mr. Whole Lot of Money. He deserves to be in the top 5 receivers of all time. Not right now, not this decade, but the Mount Rushmore of NFL receivers, Antonio Brown. Go for it, Guru.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta come out the blazer one time. I did not expect it. I didn't expect that one.
Let's put all his antics aside.
Yeah, antics aside.
If you watch him, if you watch his route running, if you watch videos on his route running, and you actually see what he does in games, he's as good as I've seen since Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, let's pull up his stats because you might have something.
Here, I'll give you his average. So throwing away last season, AB's average is 93 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 8 TDs. That's 9 seasons. That's 9 seasons.
Yeah, that's 9 seasons better.
Consistency.
That's better than Calvin Johnson.
Yep. All right. Well,
go ahead, Juan.
You want Calvin Johnson's numbers?
No.
9 seasons as well. 81 receptions average, 1,300 yards a season, 9 TDs.
I don't know. Okay.
Numbers wise.
So, Juan, do you think any of these guys, these current guys on the all-decade teams, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, and who was the last one?
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, and I can make a case for every single one of these guys, but with differences. So AB has the talent to be a top 5 of all time. Is he? No. Why? The antics, the craziness, if he can just play, go at it, and do what he was consistently doing, he has the talent to wipe the floor with the league, basically. Out of this list, though, the one person that I think I can just, because of Mr. Consistency, and probably say, you know what, I can probably put him at number 5 is Larry Fitz. He's just I think I don't know the exact seasons, but I think it's like 14 years, 15 years as a receiver that doesn't shy from the slot, doesn't shy from anything, like any position of the field, and just be able to do what he does on average. I think he's the most ready out of this to be on the top 5 now, but all of them have the makings. Like Julio Jones, give Julio Jones a Super Bowl, he is there. Guy just needs to win something. I mean, almost had it, but sorry, Kyle Shanahan. But definitely give him a ring. He can definitely do it. Calvin Johnson, looking at the numbers, going out how he went out on his terms, a la Barry Sanders, that guy transcended the game with just his sheer size of Megatron. Come on, he's definitely have it. So there is a case that every single one of these guys could potentially be number 5 on the top 5 list. But it's just all different, like different times, different, and what it is that you're kind of going on.
Okay. I mean, last week we had our top 5 receivers of all time, and my guy Larry Fitzgerald was in there. I put him at number 4, right ahead Tim Brown. So I'm not going to change. I think Larry Fitzgerald, longevity, and all of the quarterbacks he played with, I'm going to give it to him. These other guys do have stats, but everybody's at 9 seasons right now. They're not up to seasons that Larry Fitzgerald is at. So I'm giving it to him. I'm going to respect his his lineage that he's been having in the league, and really give him that kudos. AB, terrific guy, horrible Raider, but terrific guy as receiver. But let's not act like a lot of his success does not come from playing in Pittsburgh. So boom, Calvin Johnson, Megatron, big guy. He had Megatron. That's a great name for a great receiver. But he was about the reefer, and he said, "I gotta go. Let me get out the league." And he got out the league. Julio Jones, he's cool. If he can keep it up, like Larry Fitzgerald, he can get there. If he can get a ring, he'll probably pass him. But we'll see if he can keep up what he's doing. But he doesn't get that many touchdowns. I don't know what it is about Matt Ryan not throwing to him when he gets in the red zone, but Calvin Ridley has been a guy in the end zone. So, I think that's going to dock Julio Jones' career overall. Like, a lot of guys are like stat guys, and a lot of guys are like in and now. And 10 years from now, people look back at body of work and numbers, and then once you get to touchdowns, Julio Jones is not going to be there. So, like AB said on Instagram, I think it was last Friday, he was like, Julio, whatever he called him. He was like, Julio Jones. Let's go, Julio. He was still ranking. He didn't even play last year. So, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald is my guy who's going to be in the all-time receivers list. He's up there. I think T.O. is the greatest receiver of all time, but we don't have to go into that again in this episode.
I had a question for you, man.
Yeah,
what did you think about Atlanta's jerseys, man?
I'm okay with it. I should bring it in. I'm okay with it. They look okay. Like a lot of people were saying, they reminiscences to the movie with Adam Sandler and whatnot. But I like when teams try new things. Like, I don't hate on
their throwback.
Yeah, I don't hate on the Rams' new jerseys and their new logo. The Buccaneers got retro jerseys that look the same like the jerseys they had before, but they classified them as new. And I was going back and forth on Twitter, the land of smart people, about the Raiders, because the Raiders they posted What did they post? Let me go to the post. Sorry, guys.
Still the best jerseys
Yeah, they
in the
posted
league.
still the best jerseys in the league, and I just responded, yeah, I agree with it. The Raiders have some of the best jerseys in the league, but can we see an all black on black uni like the rest of these guys do? And then some guy was commenting, a few people, and even on Instagram, I had put in someone's like, "Oh, the Raiders have one of these historic uniforms. Don't need to change them." Like, I don't want to change the uniforms. I just want when we have a color rush game, eventually have some black pants and a black jersey. Like every Raider fan in the black hole has on black on black. And if their players ran out with black on black, we will go crazy. So I applaud the Falcons for bringing back the jerseys. Like we all know the '04 jerseys set they had Madden '04 with Michael Vick on the covers, a plethora of jerseys. So this is what the Falcons do. They'll come with the jerseys. And yeah, what do you think about the jerseys? My bad, Juan. I just,
I don't.
Nah, that's
I
all
don't
good. I
love.
mean, I thought they were good.
go ahead.
I thought the retro was good. I thought the other stuff. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. This kind of double color wave, the red and black kind of fading into it. I'm not for that. I'm not a big fan of it. I think the number style though, man, could probably be changed. Like this just looks like a FUBU jersey to me, man. Like it just. I just don't like those numbers. How big they are, they stick out. But other than that,
Platinum football.
I mean, have at it.
Go ahead, Guru. You got any? What do you think about
No,
these new jerseys?
you know what? I couldn't figure out what I thought those numbers looked at, but I think Juan nailed it. With the FUBU, I was like, damn, that looks familiar. You know, but I don't love it. I guess I'm kind of old school. I like the Falcons jerseys that were red. You know what I mean? I like the red helmet. I would have been nice to see them go back to their their red jersey where they had a falcon on the side of the. I just and as far as Tampa Bay's jerseys, well, I mean, you were coming up when I was. Their jerseys, never were the pretty.
Creamsicles.
Yeah, creamsicles. That's what they look like. But the Raiders jerseys leave a lot to be desired because they have such an awesome color scheme, the silver and black.
Thank
Just
you.
so many things that can be done with it. A lot to be desired.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine before I got home today, or before we started the show. My boy Thiago. We were talking about the Cowboys and Raiders because one of the responses was that the Cowboys have like historic jerseys, the Yankees have historic jerseys, the Raiders is just one of these historic teams. But my argument is those other guys have alternate jerseys sometimes. When the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving, they'll bring out that blue one, and when they might have the blue pants sometimes, or they have the all white on white. And yeah, the Raiders had a color rush jersey one time with the white on white, but the fans really want the black on black. And with the Yankees, they pull out the blue alternate to go with. They have the pinstripe, or they have the gray, or they have the blue one. They pull out sometimes. Even most recently, one of the most historic franchises in history, the Boston Red Sox has went to green jerseys
Right.
or sometimes blue jerseys, or even mostly the red jerseys. Like everybody switches up. The Raiders are the only team in sports who has kept the same uniforms no matter what. It can be they did the second color rush game. They just had on their away jerseys and their away uniforms. It's like, come on, man. If you could change city 8 times within a span, we can get a black pants at least once. It's not that much to ask. Like I love our jerseys. I think we do have one of the best color schemes. But the crosstown 49ers who colors are gold and red.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Man, I don't know, man. We can have the trim, the black on black with the silver trims, just something different, something for the fans, something to reward us. Like just, I think that's kind of like the Raiders franchise in a nutshell. Like we kind of like way stuck in the past, but I'm not gonna bring it up too loud because I still bleed silver.
Hey, man, you'll probably see it in Vegas, though, man. Everybody's gonna be hungover. They're not gonna want to see light whatsoever, dude. So you'll probably see that black and black in Vegas.
Maybe
They better win.
Hey,
Derek Carr.
man, Derek Carr, eh? All right, guys. Great show. We'll be back eventually. Tito, Guru, it's always a pleasure to have you guys on. You guys are always coming with the heat. You guys make me better. And it's just always a fun time when we get together, and I really appreciate it. To everybody that's watching and everybody who watches the rewatch, thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in the comments. We got Will in here. We got Alvin in here. We got Juan, not you, Juan, but Wally Juan. We got Clash Johnson in here. And we got other few heads in here who are not commenting. Richie, I see you. I seen you. We're out. We hope you guys be safe. Wash your hands. Yeah, you guys take it. I'm out of here. You guys take it.
All right.
Definitely, man. Too sweet, dude.
All the fans out there later. Get with us next time.
All right.
Call in, man.
Call in. Call us. Peace.